Hey guys, Jesse here, and today I'll be reviewing the HG Revive Gundam Mark II Titans version from Zeta Gundam. Now, I just want to preface this review by saying I do plan to paint this kit, so I didn't take that much care cleaning up the nub marks. So you're going to see some really bad nubs on this kit, and it's not indicative of how I usually build my kits or how anyone should build their kits. You should always take time to clean up the nubs. But as I was building it, I decided to sort of leave the bad nub marks because I think there's a reason why they're so bad on this kit, especially for the Titans version, but I'll explain that later. But again, I know the nubs are bad. You don't have to tell me. I just care if they're smooth enough for primer to go on and paint to go on. So with that said, let's go ahead and start talking about this magnificent kit because this might be my favorite HG of all time. It's like it comes damn close to beating the RX-78-2 Revive as my favorite HG. But yeah, it's way up there. So first off, let's just look at the proportions here. This is just a good balance between the anime accuracy and just style. The one in the anime is a little chunkier. I think it had a little bigger shoulders, but I really like the look of this kit. It's just a very sharp looking kit. And the whole point of the Revive line is to give it better proportions and better articulation, which we'll get to soon because that's the best part about this kit. Spoilers. But it never really covered details, like surface details. But this guy has got some really good like molding detail here in the arms, in the skirt, and the legs. You've got good panel lining opportunities, like not too much, not too little. For me, it's like the perfect balance of detail and style again. That good mix of realism and style. So just talk about the colors. We got the Titans colors here. The AU version has sort of the more standard Gundam colors. I explained in my unboxing video, which I'll put a little link here about why there's two different versions, so you can check that out. But yeah, all the colors are here. Looks good. Now I just want to say, this is pretty much an out-of-box build. There's no top coat, no paint at all. I didn't even use the camera stickers because I plan to use them after I paint it. So it's like less of an out-of-box build almost. So just keep that in mind. This is how it looks straight built, and it looks really good. Again, just another note is I have a yellow piece in here and not in here because I was testing putting that in. I pushed it too far, and that piece is never coming out. So I do not want to do that with that piece. I want to do that after I paint. But yeah, as you can see, the color separation is really good. I know on older HGs that would be a molded in part and you'd have to paint it. Same for like yellow down here in the legs. And yeah, just again, very well constructed kit. And speaking of construction, this thing has no seam lines on the main body, and it just blows my mind how there are no seam lines. Like none on the legs. They got away with no seam line on any part of the legs. I think this is a seam line, but honestly, it looks like a panel line when you look at the shape of the line going up and down the arm. Just like the details that match up with it. So I think that's supposed to be a panel line. In the shoulders, this on any other HG, these would have seam lines going right down the middle here. But they avoided that by sandwiching this piece between these two and putting the seam line here as a panel line. They need to do that more, and that it's great engineering to eliminate the seam line on an HG shoulder is great. The only seam line you have are the ones going down the backpack. You have it on this part and this part, and the backpack here. But that's not really too big of a deal. For one, on the Titans version, it's black, and for two, it's mostly on flat surfaces, so it should be really easy to clean up. So I just wanted to mention why I think the nubs on this kit are so bad, and my suspicion is that when Bandai was designing this Revive, I think they had the AU color scheme in mind, and the Titans version was just sort of a secondary thought because all the bad nubs are on these dark blue parts, like here, here, and on the arms and stuff, where on the AU version these parts would be white. So as most people know, white is a much more forgiving color when it comes to nub marks. So they put all the sort of big nubs where the plastic has to sort of, seep into the mold more on those white parts, and kept the rest of the parts with smaller gate marks, because all these other parts, like the red here in the chest and the yellow and the black, the gates are either really small or really well placed. So they're really well hidden or really easy to clean up. But the ones on the blue parts here, they're really large. And it was just sort of surprising. But then when I thought about it, it made sense. Yeah, these would usually be white, and it would be much easier to clean up on the AU version. So let's go ahead and talk about articulation. And I'm just going to talk about articulation by doing the following, because this should just really speak for itself, just how amazingly articulate and just how much this guy can move. I mean, really? Do I have to, need I say more? Need I say more about this kit's articulation than that? It is incredible. It will move and bend and twist wherever you want. And yeah, it's like the most fun I've had posing a kit. It's great. And it's tight, and it doesn't feel loose. And yeah, you can just have crazy amounts of fun with this guy, and you won't feel like you're breaking him. And the best part is he stands. I'm sorry, I just like making him stand on one leg, because it's like no matter what one-legged pose I put him on, he'll stand. So yeah, that's I don't know if I can do the articulation any more justice than that, but I'll try to get down to some of the specifics. So first thing I really like is the head. And it's not just because it has really good range of motion, but it's because they didn't use this stupid polycap neck joint that they've been using like since the dawn of time for the neck joint. It's actually a plastic piece, and it matches the frame color. So thank you, Bandai. Just don't even mold this part anymore. Just keep doing this. The arms are like, yeah, you saw how amazing they are. And they can actually go full 180 if it weren't for the shoulder armor. Like I tested this, you can get that flush with like flat against that part. It's great. The chest has this crunching mechanism that was on the RX-78. I never really found a use for this, but it's just more articulation, so I can't really complain. Legs, as you saw, literally can go wherever you damn well please. Just great. And the feet are just on ball joints, so they will always sit flat. So yeah, I mean, that really covers your articulation. Oh, and these are on ball joints, so nothing too special about that. The cables here, just going back to details a little bit more, the cables here aren't cloth or anything, they're plastic. As you can see, we got cables here, but the details are there, so you can paint them if you'd like. And because they're in dark plastic, they don't look too bad as a straight build, but it is something nice that you can detail up. Another thing I want to mention about the construction is the head. The eyepiece here, I used the sticker here because the eyepiece in there is actually a clear green part. So you can paint the black around the green part, and you can have just a clear green eyes. And to make them pop, we'll go on to our first accessory, the stickers. To make them pop, they give you these reflective chrome stickers to put on the red piece that the green piece sits on, so it really like glows through. So that's just amazing. Here's all the camera stickers that I'm not using because I'll be using them in the end. But you've got 2 in the chest here, 2 for the head, and 1 for the bazooka, and 1 for the beam rifle. So let's talk about his weapons here. So first we have his beam rifle. Very nice beam rifle, nicely detailed. It's 2 parts with a barrel and the movable handle. So you'll have a seam, but it's not that bad. We always have seams on those. Yeah, nicely detailed. It's all this one color, so that kind of sucks, but yeah, this will be fun to paint. And that's where the green sticker would go. Again, nice beam rifle. We got the Bazooka, which I didn't build because I don't plan to use it for this kit, and I do want to save this for a custom later. But again, nicely detailed. It's in this soft plastic that the frame is built out of, but the frame feels really nicely like tight and put together, so it doesn't feel flimsy or anything like that. But it's really easy to work with. But in any case, this is the Bazooka. Again, all one color, but good details on it. We have two beam saber effect parts. They're the nice long ones, and his beam sabers are stored on his backpack there. We have the Vulcan Pod, which is pretty cool. I'm not the biggest fan of this thing, but sometimes I think it looks good on him, sometimes I don't. But it has two little peg holes that these little tabs go in on the side of his head. And even if you don't get them in the holes, like I don't have them in there now, like they're just held by friction. And so that looks pretty cool. And then we have the shield. Really nice shield, just nicely shaped. Nothing too fancy about it. It can collapse, but it's through a parts swap here, sort of. You kind of put it in the blast shield up there. So yeah, kind of sucks that it doesn't slide like the MG or the RG, but it's okay. I find it kind of funny that the blast shield, you usually use that for aiming and stuff, but kind of has the ammo packs in the way. And I didn't build this upside down, so kind of weird. These ammo packs aren't removable. This is just one big piece, but you could clip them, I think. You have this piece to attach on the back of the arm. Very easy, can go on either arm. And then you have this other piece here that plugs onto the shield to allow the shield to go to on the back of the arm. So you can just do that. And because of this kit's amazing articulation, I know many people don't like shields on the back of the arm, but you are able to get this pose, which I really like a bringing up the shield upside down pose. And because of this thing's amazing articulation, he pulls it off really well. So I'm pleased with that. And then last accessory is you get some marking stickers, which is only for the Titans version. So there's your difference between the AUG and the Titans version. All the parts are exactly the same. It doesn't come with any other different accessories except for marking stickers. And that's it. And that kind of upsets me because these are the only hands we get. Bandai, why? You gave us two trigger finger hands with the RX-78-2, an open hand and two holding hands. And this kit only comes with holding hands. This really disappoints me because for me, on anatomical, like mechs, robots, mobile suits, whatever, the hands and the head are the most expressive parts of the design. So, dealing with only holding hands or fist hands for poses gets really boring really quick unless they're holding something. So that just bums me out. For such an articulate and lively kit, we only get fist hands. But that should not deter you from picking up this kit. Like, literally the only two things I find bad about this kit are the lack of hands, and if you're getting the Titan version, the nub marks. That's it, though. The rest of this kit is perfect. This is like the perfect high grade. This is such a well-engineered kit. Amazing articulation, like amazing balance, and yeah, it's just, you need to pick one up if you're a fan of Gunpla, really. Like, unless you absolutely hate the Mark II's design, this kit's for you. So next comes the spinning base shots, and usually I try to make them look all cool and awesome, but really I'm going to save that for my custom video and just put this guy in the most ridiculous poses I can get him into. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.